यमुनतीरावनचारि जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण माताजी थैंक यू माताजी
Hare Krishna, that was so nice, so melodious, Archana. Yeah, thank you so much. Over to you, Raja Mataji. By the time you will do Mangalacharan and revision, I think the others will also join, Mataji. Yeah. And before you end, I will announce everybody. Okay, Mataji? Yeah. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome to today's session. Please let me know if I'm audible or
Yes,
not
Mataji.
audible.
Yes, Mataji.
You can share your screen so that we can see if you are able to share your screen.
Krishna. So today
Yes.
we are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 22nd chapter, and 23rd shloka onwards, 23, 24, 25. Hare Krishna. Let's start with Mangalacharan. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurummilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवै गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदेवनाथं परमानन्दमाधवं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम राम
Mataji, your voice is not clear. Am I right to everybody or it's only to me?
yes Mataji it was little low in the beginning now it is okay
But it is not clear, right?
Hare Krishna,
Yes,
am I okay now?
Because it's getting recorded, no? So it should be,
Hare Krishna
clear.
Mataji, am I audible now? Better?
Yes, now it is better. Yes,
Okay.
thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Let us pray on to Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna, let's read the first shloka. Before we go to the first shloka, we saw that this is a conversation going on between Prithu Maharaj and the four Kumaras. When the four Kumaras came, Prithu Maharaj has welcomed them very nicely and then he is asking them one question. Do you all remember what is the question Prithu Maharaj has asked? Anyone remembers the question what Prithu Maharaj is asking Sanakadi Rishis? So, well,
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
May I say?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Prithu Maharaj is asking two questions, Mataji. One is how to get out ourselves away from this material entanglement when we are in the Grihastha life. When we are in Grihastha life, we are already in the material life. So how can we come out of it? That is the first question he is asking. Second question is how can we immediately I go back to Godhead? What is the procedure that I have to do to get go back to Godhead quickly in this life itself? That was the second question, Mother.
Basically, he is asking for what is the welfare activity for everybody. So he's also is asking how to associate with the devotees, and the answers are given from text number 22, 21 onwards by Sanakadi Rishi. So we have already started with 21. 21 shloka is talking about two remedies which they are giving. What is the welfare activity means? One is they have to detach themselves from the bodily concept of life, and the second one is you need to be attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You have to increase your rati to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These are the two solutions they have given in text number 21, 22. In 22, he said how to increase the faith, how to increase attachment towards the Lord. That means you need to increase your faith in Lord. If you have faith in Him, then that attachment, that raga or rati will be developing. So, how to increase the faith in the Lord? He has told that you need to hear and chant the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By worshipping Him, you can increase your attachment towards the Lord. Let us read text number 23. Arthendriyaram sagoshti atrishnaya tatsammatanam aparigrahena cha viviktarujya paritosha atmani vina harer guna piyusha pahanat. Hare Krishna, would anybody like to read the translation and purport?
Hare Krishna Mataji, shall I read Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Translation by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. One has to make progress in spiritual life by not associating with persons who are simply interested in sense gratification and making money. Not only such persons, but one who associates with such person should be avoided. One should mold his life in such a way that he cannot live in peace without drinking the nectar of the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hari. One can be thus elevated by being disgusted with the taste for sense enjoyment. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Continue with the purport also, Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna Mataji. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. In the material world, everyone is interested in money and sense gratification. The only objective is to earn as much money as possible and utilize it for satisfaction of the senses. Srila Sukadeva Goswami thus described the activities of the materialistic persons. Nidraya hariyate naktam vyavayena cha vayavaha दिवाचरिते जे चार्तितये राजन् कुटुम्ब भरणेन वा. This is a typical example of materialistic persons. At night, they waste their time by sleeping more than 6 hours or by wasting time in sex indulgence. This is their occupation at night. And in the morning, they go to their office or business place just to earn money. As soon as there is some money, they become busy in purchasing things for their children and others. Such persons are never interested in understanding the values of life. What is God? What is the individual soul? What is its relationship with God, etc. Things are degraded to such an extent that those who are supposed to be religious are also at the present moment interested only in sense gratification. The number of materialistic persons in this age of Kali has increased more than in any other age. Therefore, persons who are interested in going back home, back to Godhead, should not only engage in the service of the realized souls, but should give up the company of materialistic persons, whose only aim is to earn money and employ it in sense gratification. They should also not accept the objectives of materialistic persons, namely money and sense gratification. Therefore, it is stated, Bhakti hi
परेशानुभवो
परेशानुभवो विरक्तिर
विरक्ति
अन्यत्र च. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam 11.2.42. To advance in devotional service, one should be uninterested in the materialistic way of life. That which is the subject matter of satisfaction for the devotees is of no interest to the non-devotees. Simple negation or giving up the company of the materialistic persons will not do. We must have engagements. Sometimes it is found that a person interested in spiritual advancement gives up the company of material society and goes to a secluded places as recommended for the yogis especially, but that will also not help a person in spiritual advancement. For in many instances, such yogis also fall down. As far as jnanis are concerned, generally they fall down without taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. The impersonalists or the voyadists can simply avoid the positive material association. They cannot remain fixed in transcendence without being engaged in devotional service. The beginning of devotional service is to hear about the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is recommended in this verse. Vina Harer Guna Piyusha Piyusha
आनंद
Anand. One must drink the nectar of the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and this means that one must be always engaged in hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. It is the prime method for advancing in spiritual life. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommends this in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. If one wants to make advancement in spiritual life, by great fortune, he may meet a bona fide spiritual master and from him learn about Krishna. By searching both the spiritual master and the Krishna, he gets the seed of devotional service, Bhakti Lata Bija. And if he sows the seed within his heart and
water
Mataji, 1 second. Water it by hearing and chanting. It grows into luxuriant bhakti lata or bhakti creeper. The creeper is so strong that it penetrates the covering of the universe and reaches the spiritual world and continues to grow on and on until it reaches and takes shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. Just as an ordinary creeper also grows on until it takes a solid shelter on a roof. Then it very steadily grows and produces the required fruit. The real cause of the growing of such fruit, which is here called the nectar of hearing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is to water the creeper of devotional service by hearing and chanting. The purport is that one cannot live outside the society of devotees. One must live in the association of the devotees, where there is constant chanting and hearing of the glories of the Lord. The Krishna consciousness movement is started for this purpose, so that hundreds of ISKCON centers may give people to chance to hear and chant, to accept the spiritual master, and to disassociate themselves from persons who are materially interested. For in this way, one can make solid advancement in going back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji, Pranams Mataji.
thank you Abhishek.
Beautiful
Thank you
verse.
for the yes, beautiful verse. Very nicely explained by Srila Prabhupada also. So this verse is actually telling us how to increase our faith, that is by hearing. So how to progress that. So how to progress in the spiritual life? There are now given 2, 3, 4, 5 nice points they have given. What is the first point? It is telling, do not associate with people who are into sense gratification. The materialistic people, don't associate with them. Okay, they are just wanting to make money. So what these people do, go work all through the day, earn lot of money, and when they have accumulated lot of money, they try to spend it upon their family, children, in going out and enjoying all the cinemas or in shopping, etc. And then again they are working. So actually they do not have any peace of mind also, because they need the money. They have so many loans. They want a house, they want a car, they want this, they want that, so many things they want. And then there are so many loans, so they have to work more and more and more, so they cannot progress in spiritual life. So what we need to do, especially disassociate with such type of people, those who are into sense gratification. Another point is telling, not only with these people, but those things also, those people who are associating with them also, we should not associate. Okay, that means in Hindi they say dushman ka dushman dost hota hai, but here it is like that, the person who are associating with materialistic persons, and with them also we are not going to associate. That is the second point they made. Then they have said that, totally you should be disgusted with the taste of sense enjoyment. We should not get into that sense enjoyment, sense enjoyment at all. Initially, I remember when I was young, when I was not in Krishna consciousness, we used to go to lot of movies, crazy about them. But after getting this Krishna consciousness, uh, to sit there in the theater for 2 hours, 3 hours, it's like a pain in the ass. Who will go? And the story is same. You get disgusted by watching those movies or the serials. So one has to get elevated, disgusted by the taste of the sense enjoyment. So Sarvabhauma Prabhuji was telling that if there is some paisam given to you, there is nicely sugar is there and it looking very nice, you taste it, it will be very nice. But the same paisam, it is looking very nice, all the dry fruits are there, everything very beautiful, but instead of sugar, the granny has put salt in that. So how you will be disgusted with that paisam, you wouldn't like to enjoy it anymore, right? So that way we should be disgusted with the sense gratification. Okay, so this is the third one. And the next one is what you have to be satisfied in whatever condition you are. You need to be satisfied. We don't want to crave for anything. I am happy with Lord has given whatever the Lord has given me. Be satisfied at all the times. And the next thing which is they are saying is, you should mold your life in such a way that you should not be able to you cannot live in peace without listening to Harikatha. If you are not listening to Harikatha one day, means you should get becheni, or what I should do, what I should do. You should feel like that. Without listening to Harikatha, not even a single day should pass for us. So we have to mold our lifestyle in that way. So here, Prabhupada has given this example of this materialistic person, that how they are indulging in the night time in the sex, and in the daytime they are going to the office and using everything for the sense gratification. So they don't have any interest in going back home, back to God. They don't have any interest in understanding who they are, or what is their goal, ultimate goal of life, or what is the relationship between them and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They don't want to listen at all. So we should be away from such kind of people. So you Prabhupada has given the analogy of yogis also. Why I should be always hearing I can become a yogi, I can become a Mayavadi. The yogi also is not able to get the ultimate goal. Why? Sometimes the yogis they just go into a secluded place, and they are meditating. But sometimes we see that the yogis also fall down. So that also is not going to help us into the spiritual advancement. Jnanis, they are so knowledgeable that they get very proud of their knowledge and they think, oh, God is nothing in front of us. We know everything what God knows. Of a pride comes into them and they also don't take shelter at the lotus feet of God. Actually, if we see in Bhagavad Gita, that is one of in the ladder, yoga ladder. After after Jnana Yoga, they have to come to Bhakti Yoga. If they are not able to come, then they are falling down. From that Jnana Yoga also, there is no guarantee that you will go to Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga is means the devotional service is the only method to reach the goal of our life. The impersonalists again, Prabhupada is talking about impersonalists. There is no God only for them. There is no form of the Lord, so they do not want to be engaged in that. They cannot remain fixed in transcendence, and there is no devotional service also for them. Okay? So Prabhupada is telling, so what ultimately the thing is, we have to hear the Supreme Person, glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that is the beginning of our devotional service. So Vina Hare Guna Piyusha Panat. Panat means drinking. Without drinking the nectar of the holy name of the Lord or nectar of the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there cannot be any devotional service. So we need to start our process by hearing these glories of the Supreme Personality of God. That is the prime method Prabhupada is telling in advancing in the spiritual life. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommends the same thing. So how we should start? By getting a bona fide spiritual master, learning from a spiritual master, listening to him, learning from him how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When you go to a spiritual master, that beej, the seed of bhakti, is put into your heart. That is called as bhakti lata, beej. That beej seed is put in the heart. And when the seed is put in the heart, then what you need to do? That you need to water that particular seed. How you are watering the seed for it to grow? We are watering it by chanting and hearing. Then this creeper bhakti lata is growing, and when it grows, and it will break the shell and reach towards take the lotus feet of the Lord. Just as the creeper will go to the roof, no? After the roof, then it will grow up steadily, and then it will get fruits. Same way, once you reach the lotus feet of the Lord, then the fruits are coming. Fruits are the devotional service again. So we need to, the whole point what Prabhupada wants to make is hearing is very, very important. And to hear from a bona fide source is important. And when you want to hear and when you want to disassociate with the people who are materialistic, then what you need to do, we need to associate with like-minded people, associate with the devotees. And for that reason only this Krishna consciousness movement has been developed by Srila Prabhupada. ISKCON centers are there only for this purpose. Why? So that you can meet devotees over there. And when devotees meet with each other, they do not talk anything prajalpa. They don't do any prajalpa. They are talking about Krishna Katha. The shloka which Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling what do the devotees do? Madchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. When the devotees are meeting with each other, what they are doing? Madchitta, they are always thinking about the Lord, they are always talking about the Lord, they are always and not only simply talking, they are tushyanti cha ramanti cha, they are enjoying the talk also of the Lord. Okay, so that environment we need to create. That environment we get it in ISKCON centers where we go and we meet devotees, like-minded devotees, so that we can advance faster. Hare Krishna. We'll go to the next shloka. It's number 24. Please. Canto 4, chapter 22, text 24. So what is Krishna saying here? Not Krishna, I'm sorry. The Kumaras are saying it. Ahimsaya parahamsya janyaya sprutya mukunda charita grasiduna Yamer akamer niyamaischapi anindaya nirihaya dvandva titikshaya cha. Hare Krishna. Archana Mataji, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. A candidate for spiritual advancement must be non-violent, must follow in the footsteps of great acharyas, must always remember the nectar of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, must follow the regulative principles without material desire, and while following the regulative principles, should not blaspheme others. A devotee should lead a very simple life and not to be disturbed by the duality of opposing elements. He should learn to tolerate them. Purport. The devotees are actually saintly persons or sadhus. The first qualification of sadhu or devotee is ahimsa or non-violence. Persons interested in the path of devotional service or in going back home, back to Godhead, must first practice ahimsa or non-violence. A sadhu is described as tiktikshava karuni kaha. Bhagavatam 3.25.21. A devotee should be tolerant and should be very much compassionate towards others. For example, if he suffers personal injury, he should tolerate it. But if someone else suffers injury, the devotee need not tolerate it. The whole world is full of violence, and the devotee's first business is to stop this violence, including the unnecessary slaughter of animals. A devotee is a friend not only of human society but of all living entities, for he sees all the living entities as sons of Supreme Personality of Godhead. He does not claim himself to be the only son of God and allows all others to be killed, thinking that they have no soul. This kind of philosophy is never advocated by a pure devotee of the Lord. Sudra Sarva Dehinam. A true devotee is a
Suhruda Sarvadehi.
Okay. Suhurda Sarvadehinam. Sorry, Mataji. A true devotee is friend of all living entity. Krishna claims in Bhagavad Gita to be father of all species of living entities. Consequently, the devotee of Krishna is always a friend of all. This is called ahimsa. Such non-violence can be practiced only when we follow in footsteps of great acharyas. Therefore, according to our Vaishnava philosophy, we have to follow the great acharyas of 4 sambratayas or disciplic succession. Trying to advance in spiritual life outside the disciplic succession is simply ludicrous. It is said, therefore, Acharyavan Purusho Veda. One should follow the disciplic succession of acharyas, knows things as they are. Chandago Upanishad 6.14.2. Tad Vijnanartham Saguru Eva Bigachet. In order to understand the transcendental science, one must approach the bona fide spiritual master. Mukunda Upanishad 1.2.12. The word smritya is very important in spiritual life. Smritya means remembering Krishna always. Life should be molded in such a way that one cannot remain alone without thinking of Krishna. We should live in Krishna so that while eating, sleeping, walking, and working, we remain only in Krishna. Our Krishna Consciousness Society recommends that we arrange our living so that we can remember Krishna. In our ISKCON society, the devotees, while engaged in making spiritual sky incense, are also hearing about the glories of Krishna or his devotees. The Shastras recommend Smartavya Satatam Vishnu. Lord Vishnu should be always remembered, always, constantly. Vismartavyo na jatutsit. Vishnu should never be forgotten. That is the spiritual way of life, Smritya. This remembrance of the Lord can be continued if we hear about him constantly. It is therefore recommended in this verse, Mukunda Chari Tagraya Sidhuna. Sidhu means Sidhu means nectar. To hear about Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or similar authentic literature is to live in Krishna consciousness. Such concentration in Krishna consciousness can be achieved by persons who are strictly following the rules and regulative principles. We have recommended in our Krishna consciousness movement that a devotee chant 16 rounds on beat daily and follow the regulative principle. That will help the devotee be fixed in the spiritual advancement in life. Mataji, should we ask somebody else to read? Hare
Yes,
Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji.
Yeah, anybody would like to read?
Shall I, Mataji?
Divya Mataji, please.
Another important point mentioned in this connection is anindya. We should not criticize others' method of religion. Therefore, there are different types of religious systems operating under different qualities or of different qualities of material nature. Those operating in the modes of ignorance and passion cannot be as perfect as the system in the mode of goodness. In Bhagavad Gita, everything has been divided into three qualitative divisions. Therefore, religious systems are similarly categorized. When people are mostly under the modes of passion and ignorance, their system of religion will be of the same quality. A devotee, instead of criticizing such systems, will encourage the followers to stick to their principles so that gradually they can come to the platform of religion in goodness. Simply by criticizing them, a devotee's mind will be agitated. Thus, a devotee should tolerate and learn to stop agitation. Another feature of the devotee is nirthaya, a simple
Nirihaya.
nir nirthaya,
Nirihaya.
nirhaya, a simple living. Nirtha
Niriha.
Nirtha means gentle, meek, or simple. A devotee should not live very gorgeously and imitate a materialistic person. Plain living and high thinking are recommended for a devotee. He should accept only so much as he needs to keep the material body fit for the execution of devotional service. He should not eat or sleep more than in required. Simply eating for living and not living for eating, and sleeping only 6 to 7 hours a day are principles to be followed by devotees. As long as the body is there, it is subjected to the influence of climatic changes, disease and natural disturbances, the threefold miseries of material existence. We cannot avoid them. Sometimes we receive letters from neophyte devotees questioning why they have fallen sick. Although pursuing Krishna consciousness, they should learn from this verse that they have to become tolerant. Dvandva titikshayat. This is the world of duality. One should not think that because he has fallen sick, he has fallen from Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness can continue without impediments from any material oppositions. Lord Sri Krishna therefore advises in Bhagavad Gita 2.14, Tams titikshava titikshas titi titiks
Bharata.
Bharata. My dear Arjuna, please try to tolerate all these disturbances. Be fixed in your Krishna conscious activities. Hare Krishna Mataji pranams.
Hare Krishna. So in this particular shloka, he's telling that previously he said that we should be engaging ourselves amongst the devotees. So now, if you are amongst the devotees, how you should become a devotee? What are the qualities of a devotee? He has mentioned here. But a candidate means a person who wants to be advancing in spiritually. How he must be? First of all, he should be non-violent. He has said. Non-violent means you should not be killed. Ahimsa, Prabhupada is saying here. Ahimsa. Uh, he must first practice ahimsa. Then he should be tolerant towards everybody. He must follow the footsteps of the acharyas. He must always remember the pastimes of the Lord. And follow the principles, regulatory principles, without any desire. History. Prabhupada is talking about Titikshava Karunika. This is another shloka, 325-21, Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioning that. Even in Bhagavad Gita, the qualities of a sadhu, qualities of a devotee, 18.42, it is mentioned, Samo, Dhamma, Tapashotam, Kshamti, Rajama, Vivacha, Jnanam, Vijnanam, it's mentioned. So, like that, you have to have the ahimsa is the first quality. Tolerance is more required for us. You should not. You should be tolerant if you are getting hurt, but not if somebody else is getting hurt. Don't be tolerant. Now, okay, chalega, you will tolerate. No, we have no. We are not supposed to be. We have to have daya. Jiva daya is required. Mercy. Yeah? Slaughter of animals, unnecessary slaughter of animals should be avoided. Violence should be avoided. So he is a friend of everybody. So a friend, a bhakta, how he is, he should always be he should be paradukha dukhi, not paradukha sukhi. He should be paradukha dukhi. Just like the Lord is Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam, he's telling you, Lord is a friend, well-wisher for all the living entities. Same way, a devotee also is a well-wisher, is a friend of all the living entities. He should be, that should be the quality of a devotee. So if you have to advance, then you should follow the Acharya in a disciplic succession. Chandogya Upanishad also is mentioning that Vijnanatham sa gurun eva abhigachet. You should follow a guru, understand the spiritual knowledge from the guru. Then only you will be able to remember what you are learning. So Smritya means remembering Krishna. How you should remember Krishna in such a way that you should never forget him. So our life should be molded in such a way that we should never eating, sleeping, walking, working, whatever we are doing, we should remember Krishna. Okay. So there is one Mataji here in Mayapur, I know. In every sentence she speaks, she will call out Krishna's name or Prabhupada's name, Guru Maharaj's name. Never her sentence will be without this. I try so much to include it, but it doesn't happen for me. She's so much devoted. All the time she'll be talking about Krishna this, Krishna that, or Prabhupada this, Prabhupada that. Guru Maharaj says like this. So like that, we should mold our life. We should mold our tongue also to speak about the Lord always. Krishna also says this in Bhagavad Gita, no? Sadatam kirtayanto mam yadantasya drudavataha. 24/7, 365 days. That is our job. Always remembering Krishna, always thinking about Krishna. And how can we always think about Krishna? Only when we are hearing about Krishna always. So hearing is more required. That nectar, that seed means nectar. Mukunda Charitra Gra Siduna. Mukunda's Charitra. Mukunda means Krishna. So his Charitra, that we should be always listening, that nectar we should always be listening. So we will be remembering Krishna all the time. Along with that, we have to follow the principles or the 4 regulative principles, and we should chant the 16 rounds. Then we are we are in a proper line. And then he's talking about yama. Yama means controlling the senses. When you control the senses only, Goswami, you are called as you are controlling the senses. If you are not able to control the senses, then definitely we cannot become advanced in the spiritual life. So we have to become a Goswami. We have to try to control our senses. So how do we control? By simply practicing what we are learning from the Guru. What? Always listen to Krishna's pastimes, always chant, Sadatam, always think about Krishna. Then automatically the attachment towards sense gratification will be gone, and we are getting attached to Krishna more and more. Anindaya is another word. He will not, a devotee will never, never, never criticize anybody else. Neither others nor their religion also they should not criticize. In whatever mode they are trying to practice their devotion in that way. So never criticize anybody. That is one quality which Prabhupada is mentioning here. Then he is talking about nirihaya. Nirihaya means a simple living. He should be living simple and thinking high. That is recommended for a devotee. Only that which is required for us, we should take it. Which is not required, don't anchor for it. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagra. Atyahara you should not do. Neither endeavor for getting more food, more sleep, more money. No, no. These are all atyahara, which we do not need, which we cannot digest. Why we need to have all those things which we are not needing it? So that we have to come out of it. Prabhupada is talking here. Sleep also 6 to 7 hours, not more than that. You should eat only for living, not eat living for eating. That we have to. If you follow this, then you will be able to come out of these threefold miseries of material existence. We can avoid them. Prabhupada is telling. So therefore, one should always if you want to progress in Krishna consciousness, then We have to follow these qualities. We have to develop these qualities. And the first basic quality is tolerance. Tolerance towards all the disturbances of life. We have to be fixed in our Krishna consciousness. Yes. Right. So we will go to the next shloka. Let us see what next he's telling us about 4:22-25. हरेर्मुहुस्तत्परकर्णपूरा गुणाभिधानेन विजृम्भमानया भक्त्या हि असङ्ग सदसतिम् अनात्मनि स्यान्निर्गुणे ब्रह्मणि चाञ्जसारथि. Krishna, now Kishori Mataji, please read.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Mataji. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The devotee should gradually increase the culture of devotional service by constant hearing of the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These pastimes are like ornamental decorations on the ears of devotee. By rendering devotional service and transcending the material qualities, one can easily be fixed in a transcendence in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. The verse is especially mentioned to substantiate the devotional process of hearing the subject matter. A devotee does not like to hear anything other than subject dealing with the spiritual activities or the pastime of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We can increase our propensity for devotional service of by hearing Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from realized soul. The more we hear from realized soul, the more we make advancement in our devotional life. The more we advance in a devotional life, the more we become detached from the material world. The more we become detached from the material world, we, as advised by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the more we increase the attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, a devotee who actually wants to make progress in a devotional service and go back to Godhead must lose interest in sense enjoyment and associating with persons who are after money and sanctification. This is the advice of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mataji, will you please sing this?
We will skip the shloka, Mataji. We will read the paragraph.
Yes, Mataji. Shloka. Oh, you are skipping.
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. The word Brahmana, the word Brahmani used in this verse is commented upon by impersonalist or professional reciters of Bhagavatam, who are mainly advocates of the caste system by demonic birthright. They say the Brahmani means the impersonal Brahman, but they cannot conclude this with a reference to the context of the word Bhaktya and guna Bidhanena. According to the impersonalists, there are no transcendental qualities in the impersonal Brahman. Therefore, we should understand the Brahmani means in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead as admitted by Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, wherever the word wherever the word Brahma is used, it must refer to Krishna, not to the impersonal Brahman. Effulgence. Brahmeti paramati paramata miti. Bhagavana iti shabdiyate. Bhagavatam 1.2.11. Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan can all be taken in total as Brahman. But when there is a reference to the word bhakti or remembrance of the transcendental qualities and indicates the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not the impersonal Brahman. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
We have lesser time, so I just thought we can skip the shloka already. Prabhupada has actually explained that shloka. So in this shloka again, more importance is given to hearing, the process of hearing, constantly hear. The Navavida Bhakti also starts with Shravanam Kirtanam, right? First we have to hear. So here also it is more and more, it's giving importance to hearing the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How they are like ornaments on our ears. We are putting earrings, and I don't know, these days there are so many holes in the ears and so many diamonds and rings and all people are putting. so that they are not ornaments. The ornaments for our ears should be the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We should always be hearing them. So that is the process of progressing in the spiritual path. So how much should we hear? Is there a limit for it? Maybe that is a question which comes to our mind. So that answer Prabhupada is given to us. You hear, it's like a circle. You hear, you get a little bit of devotional service, you progress a little. Again, you hear, again, you get more advanced. You hear more, you advance more. You hear more, you advance. That's a cycle. It goes on and on and on. The circle becomes bigger, bigger, bigger. That means we are advancing. The more we hear from the realized souls, the more we are advancing in devotional life. So that is what Prabhupada is telling. So, and along with hearing, what we have to do, which we read before, we have to detach ourselves from materialistic people and attach more and more towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also advising us that more we become attached from the material world, then more we increase our attachment to the Supreme Lord. So if you want, therefore, a devotee, if he wants to progress in devotional life, if he wants to go back home, back to Godhead, then he should lose interest in sense enjoyments, associating with people who are into sense gratification, who are after money. We should forget about them. So we have a good example of hearing from the Srimad Bhagavatam. In Bhagavad Gita also many times Shrunvatam, Shrunutu, in chapter 7 also Krishna starts the chapter 7 by Maya Sakta Manaparna. That also should, if you keep on listening to listening, then you will get asakti towards the Lord, towards me. That's what Krishna is telling over there. So hearing is more given importance over there. So we know the example of Rukmini Devi. Sorry, how she gets attracted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She has never seen the Lord at any time, but she is getting attracted to him. How? She says that because I heard Shrutva Gunana Bhuvana Sundara. She has heard the glories of this Bhuvana Sundara. Bhuvana Sundara means Krishna. She has heard the glorification of Krishna from whom? From the sage, great sage Narada Muni. Not once, constantly she has been hearing the glories of Krishna, and then she got attracted to him in so much that she achieved him finally. Yeah, but there may be people who listen and also they don't get attracted. Like Kamsa, for example, he also heard about Krishna. No, he also heard how Krishna was beautiful and how he is killing all the demonic persons. But from whom he is listening, Kamsa? He is listening from all the non-devotees. So that is why he did not get that attraction towards Krishna. Although he is Satatam Kirta, Satatam is thinking about Krishna, but it is not favorable to Krishna consciousness. But Rukmini, she was always listening to Krishna's pastime from a devotee, from Narada. So she got that attraction towards Krishna. So just for this sake, there are how we should listen, or how many different types of listeners are there. Somewhere it is given an example of Chataka birds. We have heard of Chataka birds, right? Chataka birds, they don't drink any water. They will wait for that particular nakshatra, Swati nakshatra, to come, and that day when it rains, and they will drink that water. Okay, so what do we learn from this Jataka bird? That they will, people like Jataka birds, they will always listen from authorized speakers only. They will not go to any other speakers. They will not compromise at all. Okay, TK, we didn't find this speaker, we will go to another and try to listen. No, Jataka birds are not like that. So listeners, Jataka listeners are like that. Shrota. There are another type of listeners, they are called as Hamsa Shruta. Hamsa means, right, swan like people. What they are doing, swan, what does it do? If you mix water and milk together, it will drink the milk, keep the water away, right? So people are there, swan like people are there, when they hear, they will take only the nectar from what they are hearing, and all the rubbish they'll throw away. So we have to be like that. Then there are others, shuka, like shuka there. Shuka means parrot. So what does a parrot do? It will listen, it will remember, and it will speak out whatever it has heard. Huh? That way, repeat also. That also, shuka shrota they are called as. Now there are another types of shlokas. They are poor shrotas. Shrotas means listeners, poor listeners. Okay, they are like mruga. They don't hear but create so much disturbances among people. Okay, they will hear something and they will make they'll add some mirch masala in that and give some other information, and they'll be creating a big havoc in the congregation. That kind of people are also there. The people like bringer, what they're doing, they are remembering, they listen, they will remember, they will speak also, but they will not apply it to themselves. Yeah? They are just saying, okay, you should do, but not, it doesn't pertain to me. Like that, people are there. That kind of listener also is not going to advance spiritually. Another type of shrota or hearer is like a bull. In front of the bull, you put a pizza or a paddy, no, what is patti, cordon patti, or anything. Everything is same. Grass, dry grass, everything is same for that bull. There is no difference. So that kind of people are also there. Whatever they listen, okay, I heard. No, there is no difference. There's nothing going on in their brain. Then there are camel type listeners also. What these camel type listeners are doing, they are taking camel. What actually it does? It is eating the thorny grass. Actually, it is bleeding inside, but it thinks that the grass is very tasty. Yeah, so it does not know that it is harmful for the people who are like camel like. They do not know which to hear and which not to not hear. They cannot differentiate, and they will not know that, okay, if I am listening to this, this is harming me. I am not able to progress in spiritual life if I listen to this. That also they will not understand it. These are the different types of listeners which I heard in one of the classes given by one Maharaj. So these are the different hearers, but we should be proper listeners. We should be like Chataka birds. We should be like Hamsas. We should like Shukas. Remember and speak out also to others. Now here there is one more word Prabhupada is mentioning. It's called as Brahmani. Brahmani means so many times this Brahma word is used, Brahman word is used. Sometimes it is used for impersonal Brahman also. Sometimes sometimes it is used for that Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti, Sabhyate. Total, everything total is Brahman. Yes. So that whenever Brahman, whenever the word bhakti is coming along with Brahman, then that Brahman is only for Bhagavan. It is not for anybody impersonal. That is only for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although sometimes for the impersonal Brahman realization also Brahman it is called. So it is here. It is not for that impersonal. This is for Bhagavan only. And the word bhakti is there, or remembering the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is there, then that Brahman is not impersonal. That is what Prabhupada is making it clear. This is the word we have here. Syan nirgune brahmani sanjase ratihi. We have to get attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And just say rati, that time we will get that rati, that attraction towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we are having asanga tyaga, when we are going only to uh, uh, satsanga, okay, we are associating with devotees, not with non-devotees, then we will get that easily, that rati, that attraction we will get towards the Lord very easily. Hare Krishna. We finished our 3 shlokas here. Sorry, I took it a little bit extra. But anyway, we started also late. Is there something where I can, I can improve myself, or do you have any questions which you would like to ask if I am